Welcome, lovely people. Thank you so much for joining me. Each and every one of you, you're very special to me. So I'm very grateful that you're here. And to those people who will be listening later at the recording, thank you for being here too. It's you're in here and you're with me in spirit, with us in spirit. And even though you can't be here on the live, I really appreciate you. So living life consciously. So the whole beginnings of this was born a long time ago when I came across a book, and I read this book, and it was called The Secret. Amazing book of its time. It brought in some really great questions and brought a conversation to the table that hadn't been had ever, I think, en masse. And I always found that there was a part that was missing. And so for a while, I've been wanting to share a little bit and also help transform your own small parts, keeping you from leveraging the law of attraction, which has been taught in The Secret, to help you really connect the dots. So living life consciously is the subject of knowing what you want, knowing the steps that will help get you there, and also with that one extra step of, if there's something that's in the way of you receiving it, we identify it and remove it. Cool. So tonight we'll have I'll run down a little bit about how tonight's going to go. And if you're watching it in the day, it's today. So we'll go through, the first part will be talking to you about how the law of attraction and living life consciously is really, really important, and how we actually using our conscious brain and our subconscious brain, and how the subject of receiving and deservedness plays a part in it. And insofar as sometimes when we've used the law of attraction of putting our wishes out into the universe, and sometimes it's come true and sometimes it hasn't, and why that is. Next, we'll move on to the 3 steps that I have used myself, and I've taught hundreds of people to use in order to really help them leverage up their manifesting, their law of attraction to the next level, so that they are keeping the momentum going, following in the footsteps of Abraham Hicks, shooting the rockets of desire to what you'd love to attract, but also in coming into matching it at that vibrational frequency, matching the energy and clearing out anything that's in the way of it. So that's a big part of what's tonight, is teaching you those 3 steps and identifying the things that have been in the way or felt in the way, and basically getting them out of the way so it clears your path really completely. Well, I'll explain about the incoming of a newly appointed or newly online energy center called the Navel Chakra, which sits between your solar plexus chakra of confidence and expressing who you are, and our base chakra, which is solar plexus and sacral chakra, The sacral chakra is about trusting that you are being cared for and allowing greater trust, the nurturing of that, and so forth like that. It's the trust to do with being looked after and being supported. So it sits between those 2. So I'll explain a little bit about that and what part it has to play, and we'll bring in a bit of an activation to really get that online and humming. And we'll finish with you defining or guide you through a little process which will help you define your current capacity of receiving what you're wishing for, and we'll increase it. Because we work on the analogy that what we ask for will be delivered, because that's the law of the universe, of physics. And so we want to ask for more and receive more. We need to increase our capacity for more. So that is a little bit about how tonight's going to run. If you have a pen and paper with you right now, excellent. If you do not currently have a piece of paper and a pen and pencil, whatever, or a screen handy you can type on with you at the moment, go get it now and come back when you have that, because we'll do a little bit of writing, not too much, but a little bit of defining using a pen and paper a little later on. How does that sound? Yay, thumbs up, cool. Great. So to begin with, we're going to go talking into about how we consciously and subconsciously create. There's lots of words for it. You know, there's law of attraction, there's manifesting, creating. Creating covers all things too. It's not just manifesting physical things like your perfect car park. It's all sorts of creating. It's creating all sorts of environments, all sorts of opportunities, which are not like non-physical, but they are working with conjunction with us. So when we're creating, we're actually creating every single moment that we are aware, and every single moment that we're unaware. Every waking moment we're creating. And the system goes like this. We have these, our conscious mind and our subconscious mind are communicating all the time that we're awake. And our conscious mind points our attention somewhere. Our subconscious mind is in the background, collecting, collating, arranging information, popping it in our storehouse of our memory banks, and also recovering old memories to help us decide what is best to going forward. Our subconscious also in the same breath is communicating with our body. So our conscious can drop down to our subconscious, talks to that. It's, you know, basically busy little computer, and our subconscious is speaking to our body, and it sends messages, about 80,000 messages a day. So you think about how many emails it is, it's a heck of a lot of emails, right? So it's sending it to our body in the form of electrical vibration. Our thoughts are vibration of electrical vibration. Our subconscious is doing all this electrical vibration, and it sends the messages through our body. And because we aren't just nuts and bolts and bones and muscle, we are electrical body within our body with our nervous systems, and we are electrical body just outside our body with our energy fields. Whatever messages we're receiving through our conscious and our subconscious creating, it ends up coming through our body and it vibrates out of our body too. So have you ever come across, you know, when you're at a party or something and you meet somebody and you instantly feel you know, attracted to wanting to talk to them more, and you're like, yeah, this got some good vibes, yeah, cool, I want to spend more time with them. It's like real cool. That's because you're picking up on their matching frequency sort of output, let's say what they're beaming out, you're receiving. So they're beaming, you're receiving, you're beaming, they're receiving, and that is how we interrelate with the world around us. So we're creating with our thoughts, our intentions, our gratitudes, our grumblings. Every time, every moment we are thinking a thought, it's changing up our field. Our thoughts coming down into our energy, out into the world, it's changing little by little all the time. It's in a state of flux, actually. So that's why things like gratitude are great techniques, great tools to reset. If you're feeling like, crazy, I'm late for work and things like that, and it's running off like a wild brumby, your mind's running off like a wild brumby and you want to bring it back and reset and everything, there's some tools like that, simple tools like that, which help you bring you back to your more desired state. So you start vibrating out into the universe, well, into the world around you, which is part of the universe. So what happens when you're wanting to create life consciously, as you do, like you want to send out a wish, you'd like to have this happen, and you ask and you ask and you ask and you ask and you ask, and it never eventuates. It's because largely, it's because your energy is not matching what you're asking for. So it's kind of like a slightly different flavor. So for instance, a few years ago now, I wanted to attract $20,000 a month. And got forward, like I just kept doing it, did all the spreadsheets, everything, all like physically to do that. Opened up space in my day, working like a little maniac, doing what I've always been doing to do my best to attract it. yet nothing changed internally. And when things started to, and I started to work in on the internal, do I feel I deserve that $20,000 a month or $10,000 a month? Do I actually, what do I feel about that? What do I feel about receiving $20,000? Did it feel joyful or did it feel yuck? So when it feels yuck, it means that what you're asking for, you're not matching it. So to coin a phrase, well, not to coin a phrase, to use the wording of Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks, they talk about being a vibrational match for something. It means you hold the energy accepting in what you know you deserve, and then you ask for what you deserve, and it matches and it delivers. It's like you raising to a floor on a high-rise building, and then you open the doors and it comes. If you're not a vibrational match, you'll stop 2 floors below it. So it can't get to you. So when you're manifesting things, the vibrational match is really important. And that was one of the, sometimes and this can be the reason why you get these scattered results. You know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You know, you can always get one of those amazing car parks. Wish for a car park, wish for a car park. Please get the car park at the supermarket. Please get the car park at the beach. And hey, presto, you get the best car park right in front of where you want to be. Awesome. But think bigger. When you think bigger and you create a bigger acceptance of, you know what, I do deserve, I feel the actual deservedness to what I'm asking, then you begin to start matching yourself up with that frequency. So when our energy fields, done all that bit. When I read into The Secret, the big thing with Secret, which is an amazing book, by the way, I think it was a fantastic addition to the world, started people on the whole questioning of, oh yeah, so there's more to life. Excellent. One of the big holes that I found in that book at that time was, and I'd had conversations, but there were conversations that were happening regularly around where I was at that moment, about some people were saying, yes, it's awesome. And then some people were saying, you know what, it's absolute nonsense. I've been asking and asking and asking for a baby and I'm not getting a baby. And when I got to reading it fully, I noticed a great big hole in the process, which was to do with changing our level of deservedness. And that is one of the ways that we match. And so we're going to work a little bit deeper into the deservedness a little bit later, and getting ourselves matching much better with bringing up our deservedness. It's a bit like when you put your words out, what they said in their secret, the book, The Secret, was put your order into the universe. Ask for exactly what you want in the present tense, and you feel your feeling that you'll feel when you receive the thing. So that's you're putting out, you're beaming out your wish, your desire, with no change on the doors that are opening to it. If your doors are shut, and that ain't getting to you. You can ask as much as you like, but there needs to be some sort of activity or some change. It's like you're asking for a great big bowl of soup, but all you have is a thimble. It comes for you, but you can only handle a thimbleful. So we're growing bigger and bigger. The feeling of I deserve this will be a great addition. The link of the asking for and the receiving of, that is a critical part that I found was missing in the book. So, which hopefully will be remedied tonight. But it's really important. So the 3-step process that we're going to just go into next is teaching you about, maybe you know already a little bit about law of attraction or manifesting, and maybe you already do these steps already, and maybe you've been getting these scattered results. So these are, if you have the pen and paper, sometimes it's great to write these down if you don't already know this process in and out already. So this 3-step process is like this. What do I really, really want? Asking yourself and coming inside, because we can all ask for money and the boat and the holiday house or whatever you like. If there's no feeling attached to it, you don't really, really want it because it's an ego thing, not a heart-based thing. So if you've come in and you say, what do I really, really want? And then you place it down in a sentence, I have whatever the thing is that you want. And you put it in the present tense and you conjure up that feeling that goes along with it. Is it feeling of security? Does it feel that you feel when you have this, does it have you feel more loved? Do you feel safe? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel on purpose? Do you feel fulfilled? So adding that beside what you really, really, really want really helps to drill down on basically the background, the why. Because once you have the why, it's like the power behind the space shuttle. That'll keep things all moving in a very direct path, is having that why really sitting there. You don't have to always write it, but you just got to know it and feel it, right? The why. And the second stage is, if you feel any resistance when you read that thing, what I really, really, really want is this. If you feel any part of your body squeeze or tighten, or you feel there's something in the way between you and it right now, you're like, I'd like it, but I'm feeling like it's distant, or I feel like there's something in the way, or it's someone else's, not really mine, we can call that resistance. So the second part of the step-by-step process is cleaning out the resistance to being that vibrational match to what you really, really want. You own the energy before you receive the energy. In fact, it's a deserving of that thing that you really, really want. You own the deserving of that thing. And the third step is promote gratitude for it coming to you. There's an old story I told, at one of my past workshops, which was about when you're at a restaurant. Have you ever been to a restaurant or a cafe? Looking at the menu, like, what do I want for the menu? Like, okay, cool, yep, that's what I want. You know that feeling that you're like, and you tell the waiter or the waitress, this is what I want, please. You know that feeling that you get when you've made your order and you know that thing that you have requested is getting to you. It's a knowing. You know it will come into the table eventually, right? It'll come to your table. And sometimes people, and this is a fact, it's sometimes people, when they've been at a restaurant and they've ordered their meal, if they've had that meal before, sometimes their actual body, their mouth starts salivating because it remembers having received it before. So your body has a remembrance. When you ask for something and you come into gratitude for having received it, that's that same exact visceral feeling of when you've made your order to the waitress and you know something good is coming. So that same process, your subconscious brain knows exactly how to create that. And wherever the subconscious brain goes, that is the body's way of communicating truth to you. Got it? So your subconscious doesn't know how to lie. All it knows is truth. So it'll bring it to you. So step one is identifying you really, really, really want. What do you really, really, really want? Step two is anything that feels like it's separating you and it. There are many steps and many different ways to clear that resistance so that it'll bring you energetically into and closer to the vibrational match of the thing you're asking for. And step three is coming into gratitude, having already received it, even though you haven't received it yet, but you come into that feeling of gratitude. because gratitude is abundance, my friends. And if you come into that feeling of gratitude, that it's coming to you now, it's on its way. At some point, it's coming and it's going to land right in front of you and it's going to be awesome. And you're just anticipating it now, like, oh, goodness me, how cool it's going to be. And releasing expectation on when it's going to get there and how it's going to get there. Because, you know, my friend, when you release the ties to what it will look like or how it's going to get to you, it actually opens up the whole universe's interpretation of how amazing it can be. And it can be delivered to you way bigger and way better than our teeny weeny little brain can even comprehend. So it opens up all the doors of possibility to be even bigger than you have planned for, which is amazing, right? So gratitude is the energy of abundance. When you bring it into the vision of I'm receiving it, and it will get to you at some point, and you let go of how it's going to happen, when it's going to really happen. You take the limits off, you take the chocks away, and opens it up wide for awesome, amazing delivery. It opens up your French doors in lots of ways and lets the sunshine right in. So great. So now we're going to I just put a little thing here about when you feel in your moment of, you know, at the beginning we're saying identify what you really, really want. Sometimes we can be in that space of we know what we don't want. Things are happening right now and they're feeling a bit funky and like not sure about what I really do want, but I know what I don't want. If you're in that space at any time at all, that's totally okay. Where you start from is your don't want. You can start from I don't want this happening, but then you can take the don't want and you flip it from a negative element and you flip it over to a positive. So what would it look like if you started with the don't want? What would it look like if you popped it into the positive framework and you start from there? As I tell you what, there's so many people that I've worked with in the past, and they come and say, what do you want? Well, I don't want this and I don't want that. What do you want? Okay, we're not usually in the habit of asking ourselves, what do I want? What needs to happen here? We don't, you know, so it's focus, about bringing that focus, just shifting it. So it was like a little side note. Great, so now what we're going to do now is take a little drink of water if you need. We are going to call ourselves in. Okay. So the first little exercise tonight is a calling in exercise, because, hey, we've all been busy today, yesterday, day before. Sometimes our energy can go off at all sorts of little places. And in order for this to really come in a good way, a full way, we're going to do that. Yeah, we're going to call ourselves back, right? So great idea. Bring your hands together to start with and give them a rub together. Okay, and place your hands on your heart, or one hand on your heart and one hand on your tummy, whatever you feel like doing. And take a big deep breath in and bring it down to your belly and out again when you're ready. And if you need to give your body a little bit of a shimmy, give yourself a little shimmy, just let some stuff out of your joints. And when you're ready, just begin to allow your breath to bring you back into your center. Just allow yourself to be taken with your mind's eye or your imagination. Come to your center, wherever your center feels like it is, wherever your home space is. Gently migrate yourself there now. And now ask yourself, where am I? Where's the me, all right? Are you all in? Are you all there? In there? Or do you feel like there's some parts of you somewhere else? Do you feel all of you, like the whole kit and caboodle? Or does it feel like some part of you's wandered off? That's okay. If you find a parts of you are wandered off, imagine now it's like that part of you is like a kite. And you've got one end of the string here with you, and the other end of it is with it. And gently in your mind, imagine winding the string in so that your own personal self can come back in, like you're winding a kite in from the sky. But you might find the other part of you is in your car or at work, might be in another country with a person that you speak to. Anyway at all, just bring it back, ask it back in, bring it back to your home space, to your center, wherever your center feels like it is. And you can call all the parts of you back in from wherever they are, back in. Until you feel yourself filling back up and you feel whole and you feel all of you is in right here, right now. And let yourself feel your glow of your own self in your own center. Your glow get larger and larger, stronger and fuller. And when you feel ready, when you feel full, gently wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, just gently move your neck, and open your eyes. Come back to here. Right, so how does that feel? You feel like you're a bit more spacious in your body? Good. Yeah, sometimes you can feel like your chest's expanded, or it's not as compressed. So you're bringing yourself back in. That little technique you can use at the end of a day if you've been rushing around, or you've traveled somewhere and you landed in a new country or new city, and you want to do another little reset. That is a simple reset. If you just close your eyes and place your hand on your heart space or your hand on your heart and your gut, and just feel where you are. You can also brush any shit off you, any crud, anything that's might have been like swishing against you while you've been traveling or throughout your day, and come back to you. And it helps you get back into you, right? You might be able to, I had a client who used to work, she was a hairdresser, and she thinks she worked with something like 10 or 12 clients in a day, and she worked full time. And she was quite empathic. And she'd, oftentimes with hairdressers, that people share all sorts of things. And she found that she would be getting to the end of her day and she'd I'm talking like gibberish, and I couldn't even string two words together. It's like I was partly drunk or something, you just couldn't fully get the words out from the brain to the lips and out. So I said to her, it's like, okay, well, try this little technique. Only takes like 3 minutes. At the end of your day, brush off anybody's stuff that you might have felt collected and bring yourself back. And she felt that, she does like, oh, well, I can talk again. I'm feeling like myself. So it's really big. It's important for people who are, who work with other people and who are more of the empathic style of things, which, there's increasing people who are joining our cool club, the empathics. So it's good to have tools to pass on, so you can do what you can in that whenever you need. So the next part of tonight is bringing you, I'm going to share with you this exercise, which is helping to define the thing, if there's been a thing holding you back from what you want. So come back to where you wrote down before, something that you really, really, really want, that maybe hasn't arrived yet, or it hasn't quite come to fruition, or things like that. Yeah. And if the thing that you really, really want is, it's already coming and there's nothing in the way, choose another thing, choose another really, really want. I really, really want this thing. And if you feel something coming up, that means there is some resistance somewhere, somehow, that is in place that would benefit from being freed up. Yeah, so everybody got something? Cool. I can see the excitement from here. All right. So because our subconscious has an incredible job, it does an incredible job. It works with something like 60,000, no, actually, wrong, not right there. It's something like 600,000 bits per second. Everybody gasp. That's faster than the world's fastest computer. And our conscious brain does 60 bits per minute. That's like a computer from 1984. It's called the Commodore 64 or the Amiga 500 or something. For you youngies, you'll have no idea what I'm talking about. But suffice to say, our subconscious has logged every single one of our experiences we've encountered our entire life, and even some of our experiences while being in our mother's uterus, if she's undergone stress. So our subconscious has been logging this and putting it in our library the entire time. Especially, not wholly too, but majority of the template that we run as an adult, before we do any active work on it, has been accumulated in that first 8 years of life. And that's mainly because our brain's in a state called theta, which means it's like a super learning state for the whole time of 8 years, 7.5 to 8 years of our lives. We're in the super learning state. So if we get some hiccups and things along that time when we're little, it can place some interesting beliefs and fears into our subconscious, our library of our subconscious, which we just can keep replaying. It's not solely just from the first 8 years, but a large amount of our template that we start from has started in those 8 years, which of course we all know can be shifted and changed. Science says so. Quantum biology says so. So it's a great thing. So working into this next part, we know what we've got. Come back to what I really, really, really want. Okay. So this next part, I'm going to guide you through this process, which you can use again and again. And for those on live right now, just wanted to share that this recording will be available to you too. So, and I'll aim to put down the times of when we start each segment of the processes, so that you don't have to wade through all the talking. You can go straight to the exercise, and you can redo it anytime at all. Right? Come back, do it on another belief, or do it on another I really, really want. Right? Blast that resistance again and again and again, until such time as you think about what you really, really want, and you're like, yes, I own it, I deserve it, it's here, baby. And you step into being the thing, being the person that deserves the thing you're asking for. Like, you be before you receive. It's quite amazing. So, righty-ho, grab your pen and paper, or grab your piece of paper, get it near you. So when you're ready, you've got your thing that you really, really want. All right. You've already defined that, if that's for you. What's your main feeling right now? Because it might have shifted a bit since we first worked with it. What is your main feeling when you read this? What I really, really want is, what I really, really want is, if you look at it and come into your body, what's the feeling that comes up when you, a yes, but, right? If you get a yes, but, put the yes and the but. So what is the after the but? The feeling. Getting some energy shifting at the moment, so that's good. Just doing some breathing for you. Oh, someone on here is getting some stuff moving pretty good. Sometimes it's just about uncovering things and then they'll start moving. So, yay. Right, and placing your hands on your heart, or if you feel already connected into your body when you ask this, where am I not willing to receive this? Really, really, really want, right? The really, really want. What do I really, really want? Where am I not willing to receive this? All right, where in your body? Could be one place, could be multiple places. That's okay. Write this down if you feel. And once you've finished writing where you feel your body, where in your body you are not willing to receive the thing that you really, really, really want. Yeah. And it might come out as a word, it might come out as bullet points, it might come out as a bit of a story. Just let your hands do the writing, let your conscious brain be at rest, and let your body do the talking. Yeah. Let it just come forward softly and naturally, automatically. And now imagine now, if your hands are near your body, that's fine. If your hands are open in front of you, that's fine. Imagine now with your mind's eye that you're holding the largest light possible in your hands. A great golden light in your hands now. Just feel a little bit of heaviness to it, as in you can feel it's there. Or you can feel heat or tingles, whatever it comes to mind, it's right and perfect for you. And now gently place your hands on the place in your body where you feel the resistance. Where are you not willing? Take your hands, place it into that place. Keep leaning in, letting the great, great light come in, dissolving and unwinding, disimparting it, defragging it. Now imagine leaning closer to this resistance feeling, the not willing feeling. Breathe, use your breath, your inward breath, to allow more opening and more willingness for the golden light to come in and catalyze that resistance. Shine it brighter so that it uncovers it. Yeah, a little bit more than before. Keep gently leaning into the feeling. When you're ready, say in your mind, to this place, bringing to mind the thing that you really, really want. I fully deserve the thing that you really, really want. So think of that thing. I fully deserve, or if that's a bit big, I deserve my thing that I really, really want. Or that's a bit big, you can go, I am now willing to deserve. The thing you really, really want. Now allow the feeling that's behind the deservedness. There's a feeling of whatever's desire, right? The feeling behind what the really, really want was, that the why. Allow that feeling, the why behind the desire, let it come in and take over the space gently, so that it occupies a space where the resistance was. All the people, all the places, all that is not mine, I release, I release, I release, I release. I fully release. Keep leaning in, keep breathing in and letting that gold, the light, the biggest light ever, let it come in. And let the light and the willingness in, and the why behind the desire, the feeling of the why, come in and take over the space where the resistance was. Because to desire is to seed, and to deserve, it is to gift. It is a gift. As you increase your comfort with I deserve, you feel the swapping over, the resistance is moving aside, with the light getting brighter and brighter coming in, and your feeling of why comes in and takes over the space. I deserve. I fully deserve, or I am willing to deserve. So you just keep repeating the same feeling, keep going and going and going until you feel this state of peace or space. In that space of you, that space that you found. When you're ready, come back. And ask your body gently now. The last part of this is just let your body tell you, ask your body where the feeling of the really, really want, that fire, the why behind the desire, where does that why want to live? Like, so you bring it into your center of your field. All right, bring the why in. It might want to come into your head, it might want to come into your heart, it might want to come right the way down through your spine. up your spine even, right the way top. And see an anchor here. See it anchor in to this place, to be very settled in it. When you feel it's all anchored in, gently move your toes and your fingers. Give yourself a wee shimmy and a wiggle. And come back. Oh, just bump the table. Come on back. Oftentimes some of the processes, when you go into what's feeling the resistance, and get embroiled in the story. This is one way to kind of come into just the mere sensation of it that your body is storing. So it's keeping very simple to come in and like the what and the emotion of behind it, and that's all. If you get a subconscious story arriving, which has happened before, where coming in and you ask the question of what's going on here, what's this resistance? Where's the beginnings of this resistance, and it pulls up this whole past life storyline, and you just breathe your way through it and let it all out, let it all out, let it all out, let it all out. Sometimes some of that stuff happens automatically, but this particular process of bringing in that guided gold light into the space and allowing in that fresh feeling of the why, the feeling of the why, which is the emotion that powers words. So I just want to clarify that the why we brought in the why, because when the body and our subconscious, the language of our subconscious and our body is emotion, and emotion is electrical. So all emotions, all beliefs, all of that stuff, it's made of the same stuff. So when we keep it very simple and very direct, and we swap, light is made of electricity, thoughts are made of electricity, beliefs are made of electricity, our energy centers are made of electricity, we can utilize that to our advantage. So the why is the emotional feeling behind the desire, behind the really, really want. Right. So when you've figured out the really, really want, and you get the desire, which is holding it, basically the power that's holding it up, when you swap, you bring in that why feeling into the space, and it starts to catalyze anything that's resistance. It does like a little swap set where it starts to take over, come in and lets the other stuff out. So it's quite gentle, but can be very powerful, instead of just ripping stuff up and letting it all peel off in one mad go. And that's why we define the really, really want, find the resistance, come into that resistance with that great bright light, accompanied with the why, the emotional why, which could be a feeling or a word or a color. Whatever appears to you is correct. It's absolutely bang on perfect. So however you get it coming to you, and you can swap the energy over and release, and you bring it home to roost in a place it wants to live, and it becomes a part of your system going forward, onwards and onwards, until you no longer need that certain thing, because our body is what? Always in flux. It's always updating, upgrading. Just some people are doing it faster and more consciously, like let's lean into this stuff, versus other people that just might want to go, I might just come and hang out in this cave for a little bit and then I'll try it later. We're still evolving, still in flux all the time. So that process takes about 10-15 minutes, and you can do that anytime you feel resistance. You come in, find it, invite it in with the why behind. You find out what your really, really want is and your why. That's the first part. Find the resistance, place the Y in, and so you can breathe it in. Breathe in the Y and breathe out the resistance. So we swap it over and let your body just purge it, purge it, purge it, purge it, purge it. So you can bring that, when you come back to that first process we did, which was the 3 steps. You come in with your, ask for what you really, really, really want. Power it up with your why. And then you get anything coming up that's resisting, you can use that technique to clean out the resistance. It's not the only one, but it's one of the ones we're doing tonight. And there are plenty of different ways to clean out resistance, but this is just one we're sharing. So you get closer and closer to your deservedness. And the deservedness is basically, you can see it like when you match your deservedness with what you're desiring, and your French doors fling open. So that career package definitely getting to you. So the more you can kind of almost, you step into the who you are, who's already received it. You basically be the person before you get the goods. And I know it sounds very odd, but actually it's like you're already prepared. You are who you are, and then you get, because it matches with you, right? Not the other way around. You become it, and then it matches with you. Go, oh, you're cool, and we go. Here I come. So the more you increase it, the bigger. So the bigger the really, really want, and the bigger the why, not the bigger the why, but the meaningful the why is. So the bigger you want, you increase your cup that you can hold, the amount of that energy. So the bigger your wish is, go and do all the details. Like I use the analogy of earning a certain amount of money per month. And then when you drill down to the why, I actually changed my wish actually at the end of the day. I changed it from that to something else. And so you change it to what's meaningful, and then you get everything out of the way until you match it. And you're like, well, I really want, well, yes, I really want it, but I feel like I own it already. So yay, so that's how that matches together. Now we're talking a little bit next about this navel chakra. The navel chakra, the main reason it's making an appearance in our workshop tonight is the navel chakra is actually a quite important energy center that's come online in the last 2 or 3 years. And we've gone from the 7 main system of chakras to 13. So we always have tens of thousands of them, or meridian points around our body, much like our the ley lines around the earth. So our bodies are so similar to the earth, and the earth is so similar to our bodies. It's quite cool, quite remarkable. Where there's a crossover in ley lines around the earth, there's usually some kind of temple or pyramid or church built, because there's a power center there. And our energy centers are much the same. So they're pivot points. They are a 2-way portal. They communicate up and down, front and back, and outwards to each other in all sorts of directions. So it's pretty amazing things. So the main ones that have come online have been to help us connect to the universal source of information and energy, and also to connect to each other in a very direct way. So we get a global consciousness coming online. So we can be much more in direct association and connection with every other single being on the planet, which is awesome in some ways, but sometimes it's a bit challenging if we feel a bit low of energy, because it's sometimes not our energy. It's not sometimes not our energy, sometimes it's someone else's. So this is a good thing. This the navel chakra. Its purpose is to support the solar plexus. It sits halfway between our solar plexus, which is just above our belly button, And so it's just below that, and it's just above our what's called our sacral chakra, which is just about where our uterus is in women. Or if you go into the back of you, for men, it's in like just slightly above where your butt crack begins. It's just above that. It's called the sacrum area, but at the front, it's kind of just at that sort of pubic point on our skin and our sort of lower torso. But it's nestled between the two. The solar plexus has been a really important. And these energy centers are not separate from us. We're taking in information through them and expressing information out through them every day. So it's another part of us that is a very practical part, and they all need to be totally zhuzhed and lined up and powered up to allow us to have the best possible experience. So the navel chakra helps the solar plexus insofar as it helps not just for us to feel what confidence feels like, but it helps to embed that confidence into next level knowing. So like in terms of what we were just experiencing through that exercise of improving your deservedness, the result of feeling that deservedness is a knowing. It's a knowing of like, you know what? Of course I do. Of course I'm going to charge that much. Of course I'm going to work these many hours because I deserve it. It's like it just is. You know, it's something that you know to your very bones. And when the navel chakra is online properly, chatting with all the other chakras properly, then when you do changes like this using that technique or others, it becomes more than just a pretend thing. It's more than just a face value thing. It becomes a real inner knowing, like to your very bones, your roots, you know. So they like I said before, it's also another one which helps us connect to a knowingness and a type of a human compassionate understanding, if that makes sense. Human compassionate understanding for all other beings, all other people, you know, and it's like a next level upgrade that we all are having away from the old thought of us against them and into the whole, we're all humans, we all have feelings, and we all have stuff, no matter who you are, where you come from. So it's allowing that embodiment of that stuff. So when we connect to this, the navel chakra, and we have it connect to us to all others, when it connects us to all others, we can embody that knowing of our own gifts, and it also gives space and permission for other people to get into their own gifts. So that whole, you know, that global compassion I was telling you about, it's not just about understanding, yeah, you are who you are, but you're allowed to be who you are. So the last little thing that we're going to do tonight, and we've kind of raced through this much faster than I expected. So what I'll do is I'll open up any questions, which I will open up a chat box. So if anybody who's on the live wants to ask any questions and things after this little process, you can. Awesome. About anything at all, and we'll just have a little bit of a Q&A if you want. Right. So this is just a little activation that's channeled 1, which will be utilizing biosonar, which is that clicking, energy flow healing, Reiki, and a little bit of, I'm getting a little bit of light language wanting to chop in. So and it's the really good thing is all you need to do is just sit back and open up and receive. And if it sounds like gobbledygook, that's okay. It's not about you understanding. It's just whatever the frequency is, because light language is, it's an interesting thing. It's like part of you goes, I should be understanding this, but I don't understand this because it's not English. But it's a vibrational thing which will help bring all sorts of things into alignment. Okay, so it's partly a chakra activation of that navel chakra to bring it, like really bring it into the forefront, to be kind of actioned and bring it amongst the big boys, and then also to line a lot of it up. Okay, you're ready? Great. So when you're ready, just get comfortable. And if you want to lay down, lay down. If you want to sit up, sit up. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And if you want to lay your hands on your heart, you can, or your hands on your navel chakra, which is just below your belly button, you can. Okay, so great. Probably about 5 minutes, I think, depending on how things all go. Could be longer. So we're going to come in now, gently bringing the mind's eye to the space of the navel chakra, just below the solar plexus, below the belly button. And there you will see a golden light, which is like a tangerine orange, but it glistens and glows and it's iridescent. So it's a tangerine, but there's gold running through it. Navel chakra is here to connect you to the divine collective and the all-knowing, and full permission for you to be who you are and allow others on this planet to walk their path and be on their journey of who they are, as they are, when they are, how they are, with divine light. We ask it to activate and come in alignment and full completion with the chakra systems, right the way, all the way through from the earth chakra all the way to the stellar gateway, up into the monadic archway and above your head. We come forward, we ask it to activate, come online and open up all the portals in divine alignment and divine receivership and divine flow. We ask all the helpers in the room, helpers in the house, helper in this vibrational space, step forward and allow all integrations and all receiverships of greater abundance and greater receiving and greater physical flow and emotional flow and mental flow to come online and divinely align as it is now. I'm just going to come up the spine now, taking out anything that is encumbering, anything that is holding back from stepping forward into your really, really want, helping all things that are in the reality of resistance. So we're just going to, it's in a way kind of manifesting, like unwinding the reality of that whole resistance zone. So we're unpacking that part of you, part of us. Yeah, almost like taking a train off a train tracks and planting on a new set of train tracks. so that you can move easily in a new direction, seeing with clear sight, and you go into greater embodiment into who you are, already in the reality of the really, really want. So take a breath, big breath in, and release it out whenever you're ready. We'll do a few if you wish. Gently give yourself a shimmy, move yourself gently, and come back, opening your eyes. Come back just gently when you're ready to. How was that? Interesting? Weird? So feel free to chat in the chat box. People who are here live, if you want to ask anything or share anything, you can do that. You can do that. Right. So what I'll do is I will just, for those people who are on the recording, I will say thank you so very, very much for joining and getting some tools and some activated happenings. Thank you very much. Anything that helps you is what I aim to do. So these tools are great. You can use them anytime. So the 3 steps of just going over them one more beautiful time. Get clear on what you want to ask, what you really, 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 really want, and have that beautiful emotion of the why. The why is the power behind the really, really want. If anything comes up that's feeling it separates you from the really, really want and to where you are now, use this tool that we've shared in the thing. If you like, you can use other great techniques and tools for finding resistance and repatriating them, and coming into once you've cleared all that out of the way, cleared all the resistance out, feel yourself in that place of gratitude. You've made the order, it's coming to you, and that gratitude of it's coming, and I know it's coming, and releasing any of the, oh, how is it going to get here? When is it going to get here? In what way is it going to get here? Release all that, and just come into like knowing that it's going to come. And the more you work into making yourself, clearing out the resistance, so you bring yourself up and up and up to be that vibrational knowing, that vibrational, yes, I am that person, deserving, absolutely deserving, and kind of like, I deserve it. Of course I do. That's where we're at. Like, bring yourself to that vibrational match to that thing that you're really, really wanting. And it'll get to you. Nothing holds it back. Nothing holds it back. Unless, we'll caveat here, unless there's something even better coming to you. Because when we release it to the universe, we release the expectation and we just come into gratitude to know that it's coming, it actually opens the door for a whole lot of extra amazing stuff that's even better than you imagine to deliver itself to you. So the only thing that'll, if you have a certain thing that you really, really want, if that doesn't get delivered to you, there is always something or a tangent that actually delivers you something even better than you actually could imagine, which would actually be what you really, really wanted all along. It's just our lovely conscious mind gets limited. It is a limited thing, like 60 bits per minute, 60 bits per second. It's not very fast. It's not capable of that much when the big wide power source out there is, and it's unlimited. So, and our subconscious is way better at it. So when you come into that's the only caveat that I have is like, you'll get delivered what you are asking for, unless something even better is coming on its way to take you even further than you even really knew you could go. So that is what happens. So yes, if there's anything for the people here watching recording, thank you so much for being here again. Love to hear from you. Please email me or flick me a message to see how you go. Give me updates if you've been asking for something you really, really, really wanted and you did some work and you cleared the resistance and you got what you wanted, or even better. I'd love to hear about it. That'd be awesome. But for those on the recording, thank you very much, and I bid you good night